You won't believe what happened on the America's Got Talent stage that night. In fact, if you watch till the end, you'll understand why people are still talking about the moment a quiet Filipino singer made Simon Cowell do something he almost never does. But before I tell you how a single voice shook the entire auditorium, if this story touches your heart even once, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because your support helps bring more inspiring stories like this. The night began like any other AGT episode: bright lights, buzzing crowd, thousands of dreams waiting backstage. But behind those curtains stood a 23-year-old Filipino boy named Adrian Cruz, holding an old microphone head he kept as a lucky charm from the karaoke machine he grew up singing on. His hands trembled, not because he feared the stage, but because this day carried the weight of his entire family's sacrifices. His mother had worked double shifts in Manila. His father drove a jeepney for years, saving coins one by one. Adrian wasn't just singing for himself, he was standing on that stage for every Filipino who had ever dreamt of being heard. He wore a simple white shirt, black jeans, and worn-out sneakers. Nothing about him screamed superstar. In fact, when he stepped out, the room fell into an awkward silence. His hair was neatly combed, but the nervousness on his face showed he was ready to break any moment. Heidi smiled kindly. Sophia looked curious. Simon leaned back, arms crossed, his usual unreadable expression. "What's your name?" Simon asked. "Adrian. Adrian Cruz. I'm from the Philippines." His voice cracked, but he kept steady. "And what made you come all the way here?" Simon continued. Adrian swallowed hard. "My parents, they believed in me before I believed in myself. And I want to give them something they've never had. A moment to be proud." The crowd softened, but Simon didn't. "And what will you be singing?" "Elvis Presley. Can't help falling in love." The audience reacted with a mix of excitement and doubt. Elvis wasn't easy. Many tried, most failed. Simon raised an eyebrow as if silently asking, "Are you sure you can pull that off?" The music started. A single piano note echoed through the hall. Adrian closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and what came next made hundreds of people sit up straighter. His voice didn't just sound like Elvis. It carried the soul, grit, and warmth that made Elvis legendary, but with something more. Something pure. Something deeply Filipino. A softness that shook the crowd. A strength that came from years of singing to survive, not just to perform. Every word felt like a prayer. Every note felt like a memory. The judges were stunned. The audience froze, as if afraid to breathe too loudly and break the magic. Then, halfway through the song, he hit a long, powerful note that wasn't in the original Elvis version, it was something he created himself. A soaring cry from deep within his chest. A voice shaped by struggle, by dreams, by the endless nights he spent singing in tiny bars just to earn enough for food. Sophia whispered, "Oh my God." Heidi put a hand over her heart. Howie leaned forward in disbelief. But Simon. Simon's expression slowly shifted. His eyebrow dropped, his eyes softened, and before anyone realized it, he was smiling. Not the usual polite smile. A real one. A shocked one. When Adrian finished, the room exploded. People jumped to their feet. Cheers rattled the ceiling. Some were crying. Some just stared with their hands over their mouths. And Simon Cowell did something he rarely does, he stood up. A full standing ovation. Adrian looked confused. Then emotional. Then overwhelmed. Tears slid down his cheeks as he wiped them with the back of his hand. Simon spoke first. "Adrian. I've heard thousands of Elvis covers. Thousands. But what you just did, nobody has ever done it like that. You didn't just sing like Elvis. You sang better than Elvis. You made the song yours. And that is talent." The audience screamed. Adrian shook his head in disbelief, whispering, "Thank you, sir, thank you." But the moment wasn't over. Simon glanced at the other judges, took a deep breath, and pressed the golden buzzer. The confetti burst through the air like a storm of gold. Adrian dropped to his knees, crying as the golden rain covered him. His dream, his parents' sacrifices, all the years of pain, everything melted into that shining moment. His mom and dad rushed onto the stage from backstage, hugging their son tightly. The crowd cheered even louder, standing for them as if honoring their struggle. Simon walked up to Adrian, placed a hand on his shoulder, and said quietly, "The world needs to hear your voice." But the journey didn't end with the golden buzzer. In the next rounds, Adrian faced new challenges, songs he had never sung, pressure he had never imagined, expectations that terrified him. He spent nights rehearsing until his throat burned. There were days he doubted himself, days he wondered if he could live up to Simon's words. During the semifinals, he chose a risky song, Unchained Melody. People told him it was too big, too emotional, too iconic. But Adrian was done playing safe. He knew that great dreams required great risks. The moment he stepped onto the stage again, the lights went dim. He didn't try to imitate the original. He didn't try to be Elvis, or anyone else. He sang with his own heart. His own pain. His own hope. This time, he didn't just move the audience. He broke them. People cried openly. Simon closed his eyes, listening as if the whole world disappeared except for the voice in front of him. The performance went viral online within hours. Millions watched. Millions shared. Many wrote comments saying, "This boy sings with his soul." But Adrian's greatest challenge came in the finals. He woke up the morning of the finale with a sore throat. His voice was fading. His manager panicked. Doctors said it was inflammation from over-rehearsing. The show team begged him to rest. But Adrian, remembering every peso his parents saved, every night they went hungry so he could practice, refused to quit. "I will sing," he insisted. "Even if my voice cracks. I will sing." That night, he stepped onto the stage for the final time. The crowd screamed his name. But only he knew how fragile his voice felt. He chose a slow Filipino classic, Ikaw, a song that meant you, dedicated to the two people who believed in him from the start. The first lines were soft, trembling, but honest. As he sang, something incredible happened. His voice didn't fail. It grew stronger. As if the entire room breathed with him, lifted him, carried him. He wasn't just singing to win anymore. He was singing to thank his parents, his people, his country. When the final note ended, you could hear a pin drop. Then came the loudest applause of the entire season. Simon's voice cracked when he spoke. "Adrian. I don't know how to say this, but tonight, you didn't just win this show. You won our hearts." The crowd roared. And when the winner of AGT was announced, Adrian's name echoed through the hall. The Filipino boy with a borrowed shirt, shaky hands, and a heart full of dreams had just become a worldwide star. He lifted the trophy high as his parents hugged him tightly. Tears streamed down their faces, tears of pride, relief, love. And as cameras zoomed in, Adrian whispered, "This is for every Filipino, and for anyone who has ever been told they're not enough." The story of Adrian didn't end on that stage. It began there. And if you believe that dreams can rise from anywhere, even from humble streets, even from broken nights, then make sure to like this video and subscribe. Because somewhere out there, another dream is waiting to be heard, and we'll be here to tell that story next.